Yes lads, what is happening? So today it's Halloween. It's fucking Halloween. But today on the cards we're actually running, and this is the reason I'm making this video. So for the rest of the week I'm running a Devolume sessions. Yeah, so for the rest of the week I'm running Devolume sessions, and essentially in this video I'm gonna go over when you should take a deload or take a devolume. They're kind of the same thing. I'll explain the difference and how they're basically going to help you make more gains in the long term. Kind of understand the idea of a deload. It's basically when you've been progressing in weight, making big progressions in the gym week on week. So say week 1 I done 100, I'm just going to use this as an example because it's easier to comprehend. Say week 1 I done 100 kilos on deadlift for 5 reps. Then week 2 I did 100 kilos for 7 reps, and then the week after done for 10 reps, and then I went up to 110. I got 110 for 5, then 110 for 7, then 110 for 10, and say so on and so forth. So over the course of the last maybe 8 to 10 weeks, really the last maybe 8 to 12 weeks, I've been running solid progressions on my training. Like on my deadlift for example, I think at the start of the summer I was maybe doing 120 for 6. Now I'm doing 170 for 8, and every single week it's literally been a progression, either up a rep or up 5 kilos. So we haven't missed the mark on that at all. Even on all my other like bigger movements like my pressing, my pulls, like we've been running the progressions up consistently. So now I'm in a position, I'm actually going to run you through this now. So was it there, not yesterday, the day before, I came home, done a few PT sessions, done my online check-ins, and I came home and I was absolutely, I done a pull session on, on Tuesday. I done a push session, and I came home that evening and I was absolutely beat. Like I mean, I was just so tired, so fatigued, and I was like, I'm not coming down with something, because you know you'd feel cold and flu-like symptoms, but I was just so fatigued, man, so fatigued. I came home and I was like, right, I'm just going to get some steps done now. So I went for like half an hour of steps, and I came back and I was sitting there and I was like, man, I can't concentrate on anything. I feel like I'm going to fall asleep. And that night I had a terrible sleep then that night. I'm just cautious of the battery life here now. I had a terrible sleep that night. But then yesterday I went home and I was sitting there in the bed like 7 o'clock. I was going to bed at 8:30, and I just passed out. Literally passed out, fully clothed, and then I woke up at like 8:30 and I was like, geez man, I'm beat. So that's the reason why we're running a bit of a deload, a devolume now for the rest of the week. Because if I just kept going, I wouldn't be making progressions in my training, and that's just going to hinder my gains. But I'm going to go through this more in detail when we get into the session. Just about to gonna have a pre-workout meal here now. Where is it? Meals on deck and that. Come on. Oh, I thought that spilled. Good job. Got 100 grams of oats. Actually, I didn't get any berries for it, but I'm gonna rock it anyways. Got 100 grams of oats and 30 grams of whey, and a bit of pink Himalayan sea salt and a bit of honey to help with the pump in the gym and add a bit of flavour. So about to get this down me, then I'm going to head into the warehouse gym in Oranmore, and I'm going to run you through my devolume session for legs. So let's get it.
See lads, that's the thing about deloads. Like you have to take them at some stage. So you can even see here, today we're coming in and we're doing one top set on each movement. So we're not doing excessive amount of sets. So the main thing is we're going to come in today and leave like 2 or 3 reps left in the tank in each set. We're not going to be pushing to failure. Because say I could have came in today and I could have full cented again on my session, and I could have pushed to failure. But this week my lifts are already starting to regress. They're starting to go down. So say if I just full cented for the rest of the week, it's not like I'm going to get any stronger. My lifts are only going to be going down. So my gym sessions aren't going to be as effective, and therefore I'm not going to be building as much muscle. So I'd rather come in this week for the remainder of the week, because we did full send it on Monday, but I'd rather come in now for the rest of the week, do a devolume, which is essentially on this one top set, leaving 2 to 3 reps in reserve, and then be fresh moving into next week. And then I'm going to be in a position where say I've washed off that fatigue, I'm back fresh, and then I'll be able to go into another progressive phase of a good 8 to 12 weeks of solid progressions, But that's another thing. Now the sessions are getting a bit more taxing, say because we are lifting heavier, which is a good thing, but say the sessions are going to be a bit more intense, a bit more taxing on the body. Like say when I was deadlifting 120 for 4 or 5 in comparison to deadlifting 170 for 8 now. It's going to be a bit more physically demanding on the central nervous system, but that's a good thing at the same time, because I think right now I'm weighing like 82 kilos, so that's like over twice my body weight for reps. So obviously it's going to be a bit more physically demanding in comparison to the 120, but that's the name of the game. Again, not going to failure, leaving like 2 or 3 reps in the tank on every single movement. The main thing is I don't want to just not come into the gym at all and not keep the movement patterns moving. So I'd rather come in, leave a couple of reps left in the tank, wash the fatigue off, and then we'll go again from there. So when should you take a deload? Well, for me, for example, I'd probably ran it a bit too long, but to be honest, I'd rather push my training until I start to plateau and start to regress. So some people will like automatically program a deload into their program. So they'll say, right, okay, I'm gonna progress for 6 weeks and then I'm gonna take a deload, and they'll just run the deload every 6 weeks. But to be honest, I've ran the last 10, 12 weeks of progressive training. So imagine if I had taken 2 deloads in that time, it would have been 2 weeks where I wouldn't have been progressing. So in my opinion, you do not need to be taking a deload as often as you think you do. Like, way too many people will throw a deload in when there's no reason to. Now, you can, if you want to be extra precautionary, you can throw it in. But in my personal opinion, run it until you start to notice signs of deterioration. And again, this is experience level dependent as well. But to be honest, no. Run it until you start to see regressions. And what I mean by that, so for me, my sleep was affected, my fatigue levels were up throughout the day. I was coming into the gym and I just wasn't as strong. Now, you don't have to run it that far, but if you're coming into the gym and you're kind of lacking in motivation, you're not getting stronger, like you've hit a plateau, some of your lifts are even going down, that's a clear sign that you should pull back from training and have a bit of a devolume or deload. A devolume is basically when you're going to go in, you're going to run your same training plan, but on all your bigger movements, you're only going to run, say, 1 top set and leave the back off set, and you're not going to push it to failure. You're going to leave like 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. And then a deload is another way you can, they're both simply ways that you can reduce fatigue so you can start progressing again, because that's the only reason you're not progressing, because the fatigue is built up so much. So a deload is basically when you come in, you do like 50 to 75% of the weights you'd normally be lifting. Again, both ways, it's just a way of decreasing the intensity so you can wash off that fatigue and then you can get back into a progressive state.